Hello listeners, my name is Charles Scott. As usual, we are here to give you some information pertaining to real estate. The name of the program is called Can We Talk, and I'm here with
Charles Scott Jr. How you guys doing today? And like my father said, we're here to talk about real estate, but not just real estate, things that affect your life, whether it's business or economy or what's going on in the news.
We are on a series of explaining to everyone out there what they can do to improve the values of their property.
Yes.
The program is going to be actually geared towards sellers, homeowners, and tenants, but basically the real estate field. We're here today, we're going to talk about some of the things that might affect the value of your property. We've been in business now going on 38 years, and we're mainly in the Fairfield and New Haven counties of Connecticut. So anyone that wants some questions answered or information about properties within those two different counties, feel free to give us a call and we can try to accommodate you, or maybe you just generally want to know some information about purchasing a home or even selling a home.
Yeah, you see the number below. I mean, when you call that number, you actually get us. You don't get a secretary or any answering machine. Give us a call. Any questions you may have or any questions you may see a previous episode, you might say, oh, how does that work? And want a more in-depth explanation.
The other thing, like you just said, previous episode, you can go and look up a lot of the different episodes. I don't know, this is probably our 40th episode that we've done. We have episodes on how to improve your house, how to qualify for a mortgage.
Credit repair. If you're a renter out there, ways of getting through the rigmarole of getting a rental property or even renting, period. So you might want to check out some of our episodes on YouTube. We're also on Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram.
TikTok. Look us up, Tri-State Realty, Bridgeport.
And you can give us those likes, as they say.
Yes, of course. All right, so we're going to continue our series. We were talking about homeowners and what you can do at, not with a big budget to increase the value of your house. And we talked about curb appeal, going in the kitchen. I guess today we'll talk about living room, basement. There's a lot of things you can do inside the house to spruce it up also.
Last week we talked about, the outside of the property. So maybe today, maybe you can start it off by talking about some of the things on the inside of a property that can be done to actually improve the value of the property.
Exactly. For example, once you go inside the house, like you see, most people look at the kitchen first. I'm not going to lie. You go in the kitchen, and what they're going to see is, this kitchen is either going to be dated, modern, or I would say contemporary. And there's some simple things you can do inside the kitchen to spruce it up. For example, the cabinets. White paint, I would say. Some white paint on your cabinets, you paint them. And change the knobs, those little silver knobs. You'll be surprised what that can do to the space in your kitchen.
Not only that, when you go inside of the house, paint color has a lot to do with the inside of the house. I'd say, what is it right now? The most popular color is probably the light gray.
Yeah, I say grays and whites.
So if you want to improve your house, you want to, I'd say, go to a reliable paint store, one that has good quality paint, because you may find paint in a big box store on sale, but what happens if you run out of paint and that's only one of a kind, that color?
Well, also, you might have to apply more coats, too, with the less expensive paint.
Yeah, the pigment might not be as strong.
Exactly.
So you got to be careful of that. I would suggest that when you go in, tell the person what you're going to do and what you're going to be painting and get that particular paint that will fit your needs. The other thing is, if it's a rental property, you want to get a paint that's easily washable for fingerprints, children, and fingerprints,
food
and all those particular things. But if you're selling your house and you're walking in, we walked in the door now, and we're looking around and we want to do some things to improve the value of the house.
Yes.
Sometimes people are working on a limited budget, so you don't have a lot of money for new cabinets.
Exactly.
One of the things that we suggest that you do is paint the old cabinets. In other words, get yourself white is the color for cabinets right now.
Of course, yes.
Everyone likes the white cabinets. It just looks nice. You see a kitchen all done up in white. I can remember years ago, years and years ago, the kitchen had to be bright yellow. Now when I think about that, I was thinking, oh my God, is that dated? It looked like a yellow taxi cab.
I saw a house like that last week. Yellow with wallpaper inside the kitchen. Wallpaper. And you got the Lazy Sues in there. You got the plastic sink, or the, the one-piece sink. Yeah, some houses definitely have dated kitchen. But that's an easy thing to upgrade, I must say, especially when it comes to the appliances too. don't have to buy brand new appliances. You can get used, refurbished stainless steel.
So if you're going to be improving your property and you want to add a lot of value,
Yes.
go in there and, paint the kitchen and get a soft tone, or, specifically if you can, a white. And on the cabinets, a lot of the cabinets are the wood cabinets. So you take the cabinets and you sand them down, get that gloss effect out of it, sand down the cabinets, get a, soft, we call it sandpaper. And first of all, before you do that, this is another important thing, take all of the knobs off.
Yeah, knobs, you can take those off.
Just one screw in the back is all it is. Take all your knobs off, and you don't have to keep them because we're going to get all new.
All new knobs.
Yep,
I mean,
all new
people
knobs.
don't realize, like, there's modern knobs. I mean, there's some that can get really expensive, but there's some that are mid-range that aren't too bad. And they can go up to, what, as much as $4 a knob.
Exactly. Or you can go down as low as 25 cents a knob.
Exactly. Depends on what style you're going for.
So I would say first you go in and take and unscrew that screw in the back, sand down, and then what I would do is get some tape. In other words, by tape, I mean the painter's tape, where
Yes, the blue tape.
you don't have to be an expert painter and worry about getting right in every little crack and putting paint from one item to the other, because
Exactly.
you tape everything up. And then you get the paint, shake it up real good, get the high gloss. On that particular
Yes, high
case,
gloss.
always get high gloss. Don't
For the
get a
cabinets?
dull. Yeah. Don't get a dull finish, because you're going to give it the appearance like it's brand new, shiny cabinets. So that way you're going to get the real high gloss paint.
Exactly.
And it's like ultra gloss that they even call it. And that way there, and you may, in that particular case, even though you get a good quality paint, you may have to put a couple of coats.
Exactly.
Because especially if, you may even have to put 3 coats if you're painting over the old-fashioned dark wood cabinets. Because remember, you're trying to cover up that old dark cabinet. So you put, you put your first layer on there. You don't have to be too specific about the first layer, because you're going to be going over it again.
Exactly.
Also, get yourself a very fine brush that doesn't show streaks.
Yeah.
Get a real soft, fine brush. So now you paint the cabinet. You put on the nice
Knobs.
white, and you let it dry. Then you put another coat or 2, and you put on the knobs. I like either silver or gold.
Yes, I would say. I see a lot of silver as I go through a lot of the houses that have been remodeled. They're always white cabinets, silver knobs, and of course stainless steel appliances, and sometimes a kitchen island.
Exactly. This way here, what happens is that when you open it, you get that effect. You say, wow, this looks nice. And you don't have to worry about taking the cabinets off the wall. You don't have to worry about replacing them, putting new cabinets in, measuring. Now you can add more cabinets, because you may have relocated the refrigerator from one area to another area, so you have extra space there.
That's true.
So, and cabinets are very inexpensive. You can buy cabinets for as low as $50. And they have all, what amazed me when I did the last property,
Yeah.
they have all types of cabinets.
Yes.
They have small ones, they have large ones, they have top to bottom, they have with the little cabinet doors, big cabinet doors. Some come in combinations. It's like putting a puzzle together.
Yes.
You
Because
measure it. And,
I'll say it just matter if you find a cabinet that may fit best with what you have in your house.
So there is your cabinets, and you have your cabinets all the way around your kitchen. So now the kitchen's looking really, really nice. The other thing is like your flooring.
Yes, I was going to go to the flooring next.
Yes, go ahead.
People might think that you might have to tear the floor up. I see it a lot of times, especially if you get the thin, the wood aluminum. You can just put it right on top of the existing floor. You don't have to take that floor up. That's a lot of labor. You might damage the floor, the wood underneath it.
Right.
It's better just to put the wood planks on top, and it's pretty easy. I would say, YouTube University, I would say, go in there and see how you put those in. They snap together like Lego blocks.
And the other thing is, like you're talking about putting the wood flooring on top. That's called Luan.
Yeah, Luan.
I think it's Luan. It's very, very thin piece of wood.
Yes.
And you could pick. Usually comes in 4 by 8 sheets. Very easy to cut. So you take and because when you go picking up or taking up those old tiles, they might be stuck to wood. And now you go to lift up that old tile, and you're taking up the wood that's underneath there. Now you
You're
got
gonna
that
have
hole.
an indentation inside the floor. That's why it's better just to go on top of the floor. I mean, it's not going to make that much of a difference as far you may think the floor might be higher than the fridge, but no, it's centimeters, inches, if anything.
Exactly. So now you get the luan, and the way you put the luan down, I like to glue it down. Because if you start screwing the luan down, the drill may be too fast, and you got one hole deeper than the other.
Well, there's two ways you can do it. For example, I've seen people do it where these pieces snap together. And what you do is you go from one end to the floor to the other. And when you get to that end, it comes with a special hammer, and you basically tuck it underneath the floor. And the pressure from both pieces pushed in there creates your flat floor.
Right, and that'd be considered your hardwood floors.
Yeah.
If you're putting in a hardwood floor. But in the case where you're thinking about putting tiles.
Oh, the tiles.
I'm talking about the tiles.
That's different. Yeah.
Right, where you're putting a tile on top of the floor. You don't want to put a tile on top of a tile because, in other words, where the line is maybe not line up. Plus, the older tiles were little 10 by 10 tiles. The newer tiles are basically 12 by 12. So the lines are not going to line up exactly. So by putting that thin piece of wood across the entire floor, now you're starting fresh.
Exactly.
And
multiple ways you can go about it.
Exactly. So now you put down your tiles, and the tile, you might want to get like a light colored tile, and versus a dark, no reds or dark blues or anything like that, because you want the kitchen to have a nice uniform sort of
a theme to it.
A relaxing effect when you open up the door. So that you can do your floor over, and even some cases, depends on how upscale you want, you can get the what do you call it? Not glass, but the tile floors that really are shiny, and they're not made out of sort of like the wood material. They're more of a glossy effect. It depends on how expensive that you want to get and how involved you want to get. Some of the tiles even come with the sticky back on it. You just peel it off. Just peel it off and put it down.
Yeah.
So that can take care of your floor. Now, if you want to do your counters over, I was recently in the house just yesterday where, a friend of mine, I recommended a company where he did the, what do you call it?
The granite?
Granite.
Yeah.
Granite, and you can go to one of these supply houses, and they've popped up all over where you have the little yard where they do granite work, and you can go directly right to them. You drive by, you see all the granite out in the backyard, and you can go in there, and they have the machine in there where they cut it, they mill it. The guy comes out to your house and measures it, and you don't have to go through the big box stores because now you're going through a third party.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend going to these big box stores. I won't name any of them, but they do have granite there. But the thing is, honestly, the granite is going to be a sample you can barely touch. I mean, I recommend going to an actual place that cuts the granite, whether it be in Bridgeport, Fairfield County. We know a few places. Give us a call. Yeah. But I would say you can touch what's going to be in your house. You can see the exact size, what it looks like. With these big box stores, they're going to order it from far away, charge you the shipping, and pass all those costs.
How heavy that stuff is?
Yeah, very heavy. They're going to pass all those costs along to you.
Right. The other way, you go right out into the backyard. They've got all the granite stacked up. You pick out one. The one you pick out, that's the one you get.
Exactly.
They take it into the shop. They custom cut it. They cut the part for the stainless steel sink to drop down. And most of the sinks now, they're deep.
Yes.
And that's really nice. You could fit a lot into it, and it's deep, so you don't have to worry about it splashing out.
Exactly.
And you could even put the backsplash, pick that out, and they put a nice backsplash in the back of the sink. And it's very, very, really very simple. It's it's easier than you really
I would
think.
say people see granite countertops, and I think that's a big expenditure and labor, but it's actually a quick process as far as the guy comes to your house, measures it, you put the order in, and then they come back to your house whether the week after, depending on how hard it is to get that particular granite. They come back and they lay it right down, and takes an hour, less than that?
Yeah. When I had mine, then it took about an hour. That was it. And the only thing it takes a long time because it's heavy, so they have to screw it in. They have to glue it in. I mean, it's hundreds of pounds. They sit it down, and then they caulk around it with the silicone glue. and they put the back splash in there, and they drop the sink down there, and they smooth off the edges. That's the other thing. They smooth off so the edges are nice and smooth and round. Hey, they're in and out within an hour.
And then you have a perfectly looking granite countertop that, I'll tell you the truth, that can make the difference in a lot of sales. People say, wow, granite countertops versus the alternative. You see what we see from the 90s and the 80s, just a basic countertop wood with maybe pink or yellow. It's always a color like that. But the granite definitely stands out.
It really stands out, and it's inexpensive.
Yes.
You could do a granite countertops around the whole for $1,500. And when the people see that, they're like, oh, wow, it costs about $10,000 to do that. So you're adding value without spending a lot of money. Plus, you control of the entire process, because you don't have to go to the store and say, well, when's my order coming in? When's my shipment coming in? What if it comes in and en route it cracks? Oh, now we got to put in an order for another month or two.
Exactly.
So we try to make everything simple, and we do this through experience, because we've done these.
We've done these before. We've done remodels and rehabs before.
Right. The other thing is your appliances. Like you said earlier, I heard you say.
Stainless steel.
Go with stainless steel. In other words, there's different ones. White is old school. For many years there, I noticed people went to black. Now the black is old school. What the people are looking for now is the stainless steel.
People love a stainless steel refrigerator. If it makes ice, even better. But the thing is, I recommend people don't go to the big box store unless you have the budget for it, or the electronics store that sells the smart refrigerator. Go to your local, I would say, appliance store. Plenty of them here in Bridgeport alone, in Fairfield County, where you go there and they have refurbished stainless steel appliances that you can test there. They should let you see if it works.
Or you have people that bought a home and maybe they wanted to change it out. Maybe they wanted to change it from a small kitchen to a larger kitchen. So they take that particular refrigerator and stove and they trade it in and they get a larger refrigerator stove. There's nothing wrong with the refrigerator and stove that they have, because refrigerators and stoves, they last a long time.
Yes, they do.
So it's not like, and the outside doesn't deteriorate. In a refrigerator, it's basically the compressor. That's all it really is a compressor and a fan.
Those are the only two things really that go wrong.
What else can go wrong inside there? The shelving and the outside are standard. Same thing with a stove. Most stoves now are going electric.
Yeah, I see that.
And there's a debate going on now between, should I get an electric stove or a gas stove? And a lot of the people that are used to cooking on a gas stove, they're just used to cooking on the gas stove. But the trend is going towards the electric stove.
Yes.
And with the electric, and the reason being, with the electric stove, there's less cleanup. With a gas stove, it boils over and everything goes and gets in the middle of the little holes and goes inside there, and whatever you're cooking goes and settles into goes into everything. But with the glass, it just goes on the top. You wipe it off, and it's a done deal, and it's easy. And you can turn it on, and it heats up quickly, and you're not worried about any flames.
And I will say also, I see electronic stoves, they kind of do last a little bit longer than the gas stoves. So with the gas stoves, I see the first thing that breaks is the thing that sparks the flame. Sometimes that doesn't spark hard enough, and then people they'll have a stove with one eye not working, supposed to be 4 of them on there. So I would say electronic is definitely the trend to go to.
Yes, so and even there, like you said, you can go to a used appliance store.
Yep.
And if you don't like to deal with the used, go to a scratch and dent store. There's many scratch and dent stores where sometimes in transporting these items, they may get a scratch in them, and they can't put it out there as new, even though they can't say new, but it's a scratch and dent.
Exactly.
And the scratch may be some in the side of it. Maybe in one house it's going to be a wide open concept, so they don't want to show the scratch. Maybe in your case, it's going to be that scratch is going to be up against a wall. No one's going to see it anyway.
Exactly.
So you're getting something off at like 30-40% off just because of the scratch on the side of it. And the person who's selling it to you, they're not losing money because they got a markup in there anyway. They're just not making as much money as they would, and they can't. It costs them more to turn around and send that back to the factory because of the cost of shipping. So they'd rather give you the 40% off. they don't make any money on that one. They make money on when they order the new one. So everybody's able to make out.
And remember, it's important to have these appliances in your house. If you want to sell your house and get them top dollar, you definitely want to have something in the house with the appliances. I've seen houses that don't have stoves, no fridge, and people may miss out on certain types of loans, like an FHA loan. You're required to have a stove in the house, I believe. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
So you want to make sure you have these appliances. Just because you may be missing out on someone who may be able to put a high offer in, but their mortgage has certain rules that you need to have in the house.
Exactly. But, well, some of the mortgages, like you just said, they require that there be a stove in it. They don't require that you have a refrigerator. I guess their theory is you can go out and buy frozen food, bring it to the house and cook it. But if you don't have a stove and you put the food in the refrigerator and you take it out, you still can't cook it.
That's very true.
So they look at it, you can always go out and buy the food and bring it in and cook it. So that's their theory for doing that.
Exactly.
There's also this debate going on now, which is what is better, gas or the electric? Because they say now that gas causes asthma.
Yes.
Because by leaving the gas stove, remember in the gas stove, in many cases, you have a pilot or you have the gas, and the gas fumes that are going out in the ozone and all of that, they can create asthma within the household because you're in a closed environment. So,
yes, I saw an article on that also. They're trying to see, in extreme cases, they're trying to see maybe gas stoves should be discontinued, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
No, I don't see that happening either. But what happens is when you spook people and people start getting health conscious, they're saying, no, we're out here doing all this exercising and running, and
the stove is slowly
coming in, and the stove is killing us.
Exactly. So you might see a spike in electronic stoves.
or a discount in the gas ones.
Very true. But remember, it's always good to do your research first. Remember to call us with any questions you may have, because I'm hearing what you're saying. People may not know what a scratch and dent store is or where to find one. I mean, like you said, we work in Bridgeport, Fairfield County. We see a lot of these businesses every day. Any questions, give us a call. Maybe we can point you in the right direction.
And, well, a lot of times the furniture stores have, you've heard of the bargain basements.
Or the pit.
Or the pit.
Certain places you go into.
Right, that's a term for one of the large furniture stores in New England. They call it the pit. And it's funny, when I love shopping in the pit or the bargain basement, because when you first go in the store, they got all the salesmen lined up to just jump on and pounce you. The minute you open the door, they got 10 salesmen all lined up in a row ready to come over and start talking to you.
Yep.
And I go up to them and I say, where's the bargain basement? And then they all like, okay, retreat back. Keep going.
Come on, go in the back.
Go in the back.
Exactly.
It's like going in a restaurant and they say, do you want Perrier or you want water?
Caviar.
Or tap water, they call it. They make it really sound disgusting.
They say, go in the back.
So when you go in the back, I bought a really beautiful leather couch back there, a whole ensemble, and that thing would have cost me about maybe $2,300.
Oh, yeah, at least.
And I got the whole thing for like $700. $700. And the only thing that was wrong with it is one of the reclining chairs, the motor was not operating properly. But, it's not like you're going to sit in there and go back and forth. It had a total of, I think there was about 6 pieces to that sectional.
Just about.
And there was only one chair where the motor wasn't going back and forth. And like, who's going to be in there just going back and forth? So I saved like almost 60 to 70% and there wasn't a thing wrong with the leather or anything like that. Still got the set, as a matter of fact.
And remember, when you're going to these scratch and dent stores, make sure they're not going to deliver it to you. A lot of these places make it so you have to deliver it to yourself. Don't worry about calling Uber Freight or your friend. Go to U-Haul, rent a truck for $20. Make sure the store is close to you. Remember, they charge you per mile. And get it to your house easy.
And now you can even rent a lot of these trucks by the minute.
Oh yeah, I've seen that deal before too.
Dirt cheap, $19 for the first 75 minutes, right? $19 for the first 75 minutes. I mean, how long do you need it? You go and you pick especially if your home is close by. 75 minutes, that's over almost an hour and 15 minutes. So you go, you pick the item up, get a couple of guys, you put it in there,
bring it right back.
Bring the truck right back, boom. 20 bucks.
Exactly.
20 bucks. So you don't have, and then you don't have to pay for shipping. They might charge you extra $150 for the shipping.
They're going to build that all in there. Because remember, if you go through the salesman, you have to pay his commission too.
Right.
So you're going to have a lot of middlemen.
They want to make money.
They want to make money. So they're going to be paying a lot of things if you buy it upfront brand new versus the bargain bin, I'll call it.
We're trying to show you ways that you can save money. Put the
Yes.
extra money in your pocket. You know, like we've been in this business now going on 30-some years. Done a lot of that, rehabbed a lot of different buildings, a lot
Yes.
of different apartments. And we found the ways to save the money and to cut the corners. So we're passing those secrets on to you. A lot of people won't tell you, the secrets of the inside trade of saving the money. But we're doing this because the more money you save and the more money you put aside is the more money you have to invest in a property.
Exactly.
As an investor or even as a first-time home buyer.
Correct.
Or even a tenant. In other words, as a tenant, you still are going to need furniture inside of your apartment. You still may want to spruce the apartment up. And, there's different things that you can do to improve your quality of life. What we're trying to do is to show you ways of saving money and doing a lot with what you have in hand.
Exactly. So the past 3 episodes, not counting the one where we interviewed Mr. Overland, have been about the homeowners. So don't trust the tenants. We're getting back to you. We're going to talk more about apartments and renting soon. But we want to make sure the homeowners understand that in this market, there's simple things they can do to spruce up their house.
And tenants, like I just said, don't forget, tenants buy furniture too, so you can go out there and save money.
Use those same tips to save money.
Some tenants have their own appliances too. Scratch and dent.
Exactly.
Save that money. So
definitely.
Until next week, we're going to continue the series and show people out there how they can economize, how you can save money, and get the best bang for the buck. Until next week, Tri-State Realty. Tune in, tell your friends.
And follow us online.
God bless.
Amen.